Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Sunday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, first, I want to talk about JD Vance. And if I have time, I'm going to get to Matt Gaetz. Both of these guys have had put out comments. All the links right down below. You can see the words coming out of their mouths yourselves. Both of them have put out comments in the last couple of days. They're just over the top ridiculous. I'll tell you guys what both of them have said right off the bat. JD Vance, I gotta be careful how I say this, claims that, I'll have the link right down, you can see Vance say this for himself. He claims that this must be the truth, that Joe Biden is mad at MAGA, at people that voted for Donald Trump, and he's trying to, I have to watch the words I use here. I'm going to use the word eliminate. He's just all out trying to eliminate MAGA voters. Because he's angry that they didn't vote for him because of fentanyl. Because fentanyl is wiping out Heartland America, MAGA voters, and this must be his reasoning. Seriously, that's what he said. I don't even know where to start. I'll get into that in a second. Matt Gaetz, secondly, just in the last day, okay, he voted against. This is a fact. This blows my mind that Republicans voted against a cap on insulin, $35 cap on insulin prices. But Matt Gaetz said, he voted against it because it's all about fat Americans. Americans have been getting fatter, and it's all about supply and demand. If people would just eat better and stop getting fat, the price of insulin wouldn't keep going up. Yeah, he said that, and that's not true. Supply and demand it doesn't apply to this. It doesn't, and I got the links down below. And secondly, there's different types of insulin, and what he's saying is bull. It's bull. Both Democrats and Republicans are beholden to the damn pharmaceutical industry. Okay, let's go back to JD Vance. All right. So, he's got a personal vendetta, a personal problem with, I guess, somebody in it. I think it was his mother. I don't know if his mother, he lost his mother or his mother's an addict or what. And you know what? That sucks. Believe me, I know that sucks. But the whole southern border thing, he's turned into this a fentanyl thing, and it's all the Democrats' fault and all that. And this is my problem with that. When people like him talk about addiction or drugs, and they use it in a political sense as a weapon, like he's doing right here, a ridiculous weapon, saying that Joe Biden actually wants to be rid of Americans. And, he says it. He says this in all seriousness. This is the conclusion he came to. Can't be any other conclusion. He's trying to off Americans because he's mad at them. Because they voted for Donald Trump. Can't be no other possibility. When people like him do this, the people that get hurt in the end are the addicts and people trying to get into recovery. When you misrepresent what's going on and how it's going on and why it's going on, when you misrepresent that and try to use it as a weapon against your political opponents, the people that get hurt are the addicts. All right. I took within 10 minutes, because I wanted to show that first of all, I'm going to tell you how I got addicted to opioids. And it has a lot more, once again, to do with the pharmaceutical industry and people like him and Gaetz that are beholden to the pharmaceutical industry, that it has anything to do with Mexicans. Because very few people go right into fentanyl, the most potent of all opioids. Almost all addicts have started other places, and I'll make a point of that on exactly how I got addicted. But I wanted to make a point that it's so much easier than going to find a cartel member or an illegal immigrant to go get your fentanyl. Within about 8 minutes, I went online. I went to a server that's a search engine that's private, like DuckDuckGo. I typed in like buy whatever. And you can buy whatever. Within 6 minutes, I had screenshots where you come up on these pages that will sell you anything. They actually have, fill your cart. Fill your cart with this and that. Fentanyl, mushrooms, LSD, literally anything. That's how easy it is. The U.S. Postal Service has become the biggest drug runner in America. I hate to say that because I love the Postal Service, but and Bitcoin is. I could go 5 miles down the road and get all the you could buy Bitcoin easily. You could or trade whatever you want. Get your what's it called? Your wallet. It's easy to do, and they describe on there how they mail it to you and how they discreetly triple wrap it, so it won't get caught by postal inspectors. I was gonna do a screenshot, and I was gonna put it on my community page, or I was gonna put it on this thumbnail. But I thought twice about even doing that because it says buy this and buy that, and it's ridiculous. And I remember going to NA meetings where the people there were getting it like this. This has, it's nice and convenient to blame all to blame it all on brown people coming from Guatemala or Haitians or whatever, because God knows they're all whatever, but it's not the truth. And let me tell you about how I got addicted. Okay, I was an addict my whole life. Like JD Vance in this clip. First of all, he says this. He comes up with this theory that has to be the truth, that he's trying to wipe out MAGA. But then he goes on and he kills his own argument because he realizes he's saying that all MAGA voters or most MAGA voters or most addicts are MAGA voters. And I think he kind of realizes that as he's saying it, what he's implying there, that more MAGA voters than anybody else are addicts. It's probably not a good look, and it's not the truth. Man, I've been in recovery groups. I've been in detoxes and whatnot. And there's been people in their 70s, people in their teens, white, black, brown, women, male, rich, poor, famous, homeless. Seriously, I've told you guys I've been in these places like 13 times. In the groups, the NA groups, there's every Democrat, Republican, Satanist. Everybody, so for him to misrepresent this or one part of the country that's being affected, because it's not, like I said, you can go to someplace like DuckDuckGo search engine and this stuff goes all over the whole, it could be anywhere next week. It's not just the heartland in MAGA voters, and to say that is hurting the addicts. It's misrepresenting the problem. And you can't get rid of the problem if you don't acknowledge what exactly if you're misrepresenting what it even is. Okay, so I was an addict my whole, I for some reason, I always wanted to, I don't know, maybe it had something to do with my father dying. In the end, I take it as my responsibility. Maybe it was because I was molested. Like I did a video last week. Maybe it's because I lost my dad. I don't know. Maybe my mom didn't hug me enough. No, Mom, you hugged me plenty. But I always wanted to feel different for some reason. I remember my mom saying something about how she heard brandy cures toothaches or something like that. Because I had a toothache. And I was only my father had just passed away. I was about 10 years old. And we went to the drugstore, and they used to sell brandy in the drugstore back then, a long time ago in the 70s. And I was begging her to buy brandy because I wanted to get a buzz. At 10 years old. I had never even drank before. And I remember that specifically because I wanted to feel different. I had this pull towards altering my mind, even at that age. I don't know why. It probably because for some reason it's in my genes. My grandfather was an alcoholic, a full-blown alcoholic who quit drinking, had a bad car accident and quit drinking. It runs in my family. All right. So the first 20 years of my life was drinking and cocaine and crack. That's what I was into stimulants. And I remember I used to look at people that used opioids like heroin. And why the hell do you want to feel like that? Why do you want to nod out? That's, why would I ever want to do that? Then I had a couple back injuries when I was 39 years old. Okay. And then they sent me to a doctor. I had numbness and pain down my leg. And that doctor told me it was a sprained back. He knew. Now, I didn't know anything about it then. He knew it was a disc right then. They sent me back to work. And I lifted like a 300-pound linoleum roll. And it ruptured. It ruptured my disc because the doctor sent me back to work. And the disc broke and moved down my spine. And I had drop foot and all that. Bad. The pain, I wanted to die. I wanted to die. I've talked to women that said it was worse than giving birth, the pain of it. And it's constant, every second, every day. The doctor prescribed me I remember right off the bat, prescribed me 3 different kinds of medication. Percocet, I think it was 10 milligram. Instant acting, instant relief, IR, oxys, 5 milligrams. And 30 milligram oxys. All 3. I remember I took that to the pharmacy, me and my mom. Well, actually, my mom went in because I was in too much pain to get out of the car. And they had to have me come into the pharmacy, plus they had to call the doctor because it was so much opioids that the pharmacist, and this is back in the 90s, and the pharmacist is like, this is an insane amount of opioids. I remember going to my doctor's office, and I remember the drug reps coming in there because I was in there all the time. And then I had another back surgery after that. Okay, so I was in there all the time. And I remember seeing the drug reps come in with big platters, like they'd buy lunch for the entire office. And I thought, I saw the name Purdue, and I was like, wow, they're having chicken. They're having the chicken people come, Purdue Chicken. No, it was Purdue Pharmaceuticals. They would come in. I remember seeing pharmaceutical cups, Purdue Pharmaceutical pens, office equipment. And that's what these reps would do. And the women, and they were all, and my doctor was a lech. I remember him asking me about my girlfriend and how pretty she was. He was a lech, man. And the pharmaceutical company would send in these busty, good-looking reps that would buy lunch for the entire office, and they get kickbacks for pushing OxyContin. I swear on the Bible, this is all true. The problem with these drugs is they do work against pain, but they work too good. You get addicted, and your tolerance immediately goes up, like right off the bat. I remember I took some, got rid of the pain, and I didn't want to take it anymore because I was, I knew it was addictive. And I started having issues with sleeping and diarrhea and nausea. This is only after I took it one time. And I didn't realize that I was already having withdrawals. I was already having withdrawals after using it one time. Seriously. That's the problem. I mean, these drugs work great, but they work too good. You get addicted to them immediately. And your tolerance goes right up. So, it might work the first time, get rid of the pain, but then you have to keep taking more and more. You're addicted, and pretty much your addiction the problem becomes greater than any pain issue you had. Seriously. They work, but they work too good. They're too addictive. Okay, so, like I said, then I didn't even like opioids at first. And after this, eventually, I had 2 back surgeries, and the doctor was like, "Oh, that's all I could do for you." And then he continued on with Vicodin, 20 Vicodin every week, prescription every week, and I would take all 20 in one day, and then I would go on the street, and I would get something else like heroin, and Fentanyl wasn't available then, so that's the progression. People just don't run out and buy fentanyl. This is another thing I learned too. I'm not very familiar with fentanyl, but a lot of dealers would now. This is something that's unheard of back when I was using. They'd mix fentanyl with cocaine or even pot or whatever, because people unknowingly, it's so strong, they get a buzz, but it's not the buzz that they thought they were going to get. And they go back to that dealer thinking, wow, this coke or this weed's great. But really, it's the fentanyl they're getting high off of. It's like taking Pepsi and putting it into a generic some kind of cola bottle. And, you know, wow, this generic cola tastes great. I want more, more, more. You see, it's a bad analogy, but that's what I'm saying. All right. I see I'm running way long here. I'm going to have to talk more about Matt Gaetz and his blaming high insulin prices on you, all you fat Americans. It's your fault. You're paying more because you're too damn fat. Matt Gaetz. All right. The links will be down below. I'll be back later with another video. You guys have a great Sunday.